American voters by a 56 to 36% margin said they do not want Congress to impeach President Trump, according to a new poll released today. Although they backed Democratic candidates over Republicans by 14 percentage points, and folks, that's going to be up to you to make them eat their own words on that. If you turn out in big numbers, none of these polls matter. They don't want Congress to take action against Trump, a Quinnipiac University national poll said. American voters don't want Congress to tell President Trump you're fired by serving him with articles of impeachment, said Tim Malloy, assistant director of the poll. But the survey showed that voters 72 to 18% disapprove the job Congress is doing. And by a 58 to 27% margin, believe the legislative body should be more of a check on the president. Republicans by 62 to 11% margin say Congress is doing enough. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If we don't make gains in the Senate, I'm not talking about losing the Senate. If we don't make gains in the Senate, you know whose shoulders that falls on more than anybody else? Mitch McConnell. I don't know how this guy gets away without criticism. I mean, obviously, I'm his greatest critic. But all these other hosts and on TV and these columnists and these never-Trumpers, they love this guy, Mitch McConnell. What the hell has he done? Well, Mark, we got the nominations of so-and-so. No. Harry Reid got us Neil Gorsuch. And Harry Reid will get Brett Kavanaugh. Because Harry Reid is an idiot. He changed the rules so they couldn't filibuster Supreme Court nominees. Now, in the past, the tradition was not to filibuster Supreme Court nominees. But we know with the radical left kooks that make up the leadership of the Democrat Party, they don't care about tradition unless it's their own. It is effectively, not literally, a Molotov cocktail party now. Because they're throwing Molotov cocktails in every direction. Political ones, of course. And there's a great piece of Conservative Review by Nate Madden. And Nate Madden writes, as if Republicans weren't concerned enough about the future of their majority in the House of Representatives after the upcoming midterm elections, it appears that they have to share some of that anxiety with the Senate as well. Stories over at the Washington Post and Roll Call highlight new GOP concerns that the Senate might actually flip blue this November. Now, we don't know, but he's pointing out what they're saying. I hope when the smoke clears, we'll still have a majority, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told reporters. Now listen to that. Does that sound like a general? Does that sound like a statesman? Does that sound like a leader of any... I hope when the smoke clears here, we'll still have a majority. I mean, we've been doing all kinds of bipartisan spending and deficits and debt. Still have Obamacare. We don't have the war. We've been working hard with the Democrats. We've got bipartisanship going on here. Now, these reports may come as a surprise to those who thought that a favorable election map would allow the Senate GOP to sail into a more comfortable majority next year. But it's not that big a surprise. The real question is what Senate Republicans will actually do with the information. You understand, a third of the Senate is up, and the Republicans only have to defend 10 seats. It's a spectacular alignment for the Republicans. Well, it's Trump, and it's Trump, and it's... No, it's McConnell. And it is the Republican leadership in the Senate. They are gutless. Absolutely gutless. All they have was just this tiny, simple majority. Hey, look. Schumer does more in the minority some days on some issues than McConnell does with the majority. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the excuses. You want to fire up the base. You want to fire up even suburban voters. You want to fire up people to vote for you, then give them a reason. Now, one of the reasons is to stop the other side. But you need, in a lot of cases, to give other people more of a reason. Well, they gave us the tax cuts. Good. If you control Congress and you're the Republican Party and you don't cut taxes, then what the hell good are you at all? Most of the advances that are taking place are initiated out of the White House or they're done by the White House, quite frankly. But it's been pathetic, and I don't know what the hell happened to the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. Where's he been for the last 2 or 3 months? He's going to seminars, think tanks, giving speeches. Where the hell is the guy? I don't know. I had a lot of hope and promise for Paul Ryan. I really did. He came out of the conservative movement. He embraced Jack Kemp and his sort of thinking and all. And when he was the budget chairman, or maybe he was head of Ways and Means, it's some very solid proposals on entitlement reform and everything. Become Speaker, dead end. Dead end. We have very weak leaders currently in the Republican Party, in the House and in the Senate. They're very weak. There's some standouts, but for the most part, those who manage to claw their way up the leadership ladder are very weak. And as they say, the proof is in the pudding. And I'm lactose intolerant. I don't even eat pudding. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Some days, if you sit back and you watch what's going on in the world through the lens of television, whether it is so-called news or entertainment, sometimes you just have to laugh. These clowns in the news media pretend they're objective and they're nonpartisan, and they'll do something here and there to try and demonstrate that they are. But this president has exposed every last one of them. Every last one of them. Every day on TV, every afternoon on TV, every night on TV, they're jumping out of their clothes. I've never seen anything like it. They're so full of your predictable liberal hate. And they spew it. They ask questions that are statements, and then put a question mark on the end of it, like you're so stupid you don't understand what they're doing. The manner in which they choose guests, it's so obvious. The more outrageous the professor, the more idiotic the politician. And they don't care. They'll even pick a porn star. They'll even pick a porn star's lawyer. Doesn't matter. And better yet, if the people who voted for Trump are smeared and character assassinated, better yet. And they're so out of the closet, it's just unbelievable. It's almost hilarious. It's like perhaps going to the Hamptons and watching them in August. Or where else? Hollywood, Beverly Hills. It's just you're actually getting to see the real here. They put up these facades because they're phonies. And they just cannot control themselves. They just cannot control themselves. And they will be forever wearing their own scarlet letters. They actually tattooed these scarlet letters on themselves without any help from us. Without any help from us. So the hate, they're stereotypical leftists. You even watch clips from Don Lemon. Nobody actually watches his show. That guy is a left-wing kook. Incredible. And you could go on and on down the list.